Okay. You may be dealing with a boss who's an air sign. So we're looking at Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. This can be their sun, moon, or rising sign. I feel like this is a boss that you're dealing with or a superior of some kind. You may desire to leave this employer. I feel like there's a new opportunity coming in July, or there's opportunity for promotion perhaps. But there's someone around you that doesn't like that, okay? Either this may be someone that's going up for the promotion at the same time that you are. You know, they may be going for the same position. You may have been battling with a decision about whether or not you want to stay with this employer for some time. I think you've been looking for other opportunities. There is an opportunity coming in July, okay? So I do see that coming in the beginning of July, and I do see it being something you really want. The only thing I'll say is I would be careful with how you communicate this to your present employer, because I feel like there may be some hard feelings, okay? Just make sure to give your 2-week notice and make sure to do things appropriately. I'll say that, because you don't want to burn bridges unnecessarily. But I feel like if it's been challenging for you with this present employer, you do have an opportunity to leave. It is a blessing, actually. It's almost like you've been praying for a new opportunity and it's finally here. Now, for some reason, you may struggle with making this decision to move on. Maybe it's because you've been with your present employer. Maybe it's because you do have a sense of loyalty to them. Maybe there's a level of comfort there and a knowingness of your job. But I feel like whatever this new opportunity is for you, it's wish fulfillment. It's a blessing. Don't be afraid to take action and take up on it, because it's going to be something very financially rewarding, okay? I even see some of you maybe moving for a job or moving for employment. And I want to say with that, be very careful with your travels, okay? Plan things out. Okay, now let me take my Gypsy Oracle cards here, and we're just going to clarify this. Ending one thing, opening a new thing. I feel like one door opening, another door. One door closing, one door opening, I'll say. Let's look at this choice that we have with the Lover's card in the center here. The Lover's card is indicating that this decision, this choice that you have to make, sorry, there we go. It's one where you have to listen to your true self with this haughtiness card. This haughtiness can be arrogance, but it can also mean just self-confidence and self-awareness of who you are and your worth and what you want. So it's with the Soldier, it's a moving on, getting what you really want, and building more security and sustainability for yourself, okay? Building a strong foundation for yourself when you make this choice to proceed and move on. Now, I want to look at, I think financially, maybe the last couple months you've been having a hard time too, and maybe that's been where the struggle's been as well, is, you know, I'm not making enough money with this employer. I'm going to have to look somewhere else. And you do find one where, you know, you're making what you should be making. Let's look at the Hermit. Yeah. You're really thinking about, should I leave? Should I move on? Is it time to move on? Because I need to do something that is more beneficial to me and a place where I'm happy. Okay? And that's on the Hermit, guys. That's on what's on your mind. Now, I do want to look at the Ten of Swords before we move into the love portion of the reading. Ten of Swords for me is indicating an ending. This is an ending to a present employee situation. However, you see the Six of Swords next to it is saying we're moving on. Okay, we're moving somewhere else. Yeah, look, the baby represents something new. So on the 10, which is the 10 represents completion, phase completion, right? There's been a lot of pondering and thinking and consideration, but this new opportunity is going to be a fortunate event. We have the Nine of Pentacles here, which tells me, you know, this is a time when you're going to be very financially, you're going to create abundance for yourself, pretty much, okay? It's going to be a good time work-wise, financial-wise. There's just this transition in July where you're moving from one employer to the next, but it's going to be a positive thing. Bottom of the deck overall energy we have is the Nine of Rods. So Scorpio, I really feel for you couples, we'll start with couples first. This is very evident to me in this reading. It's just, you've been thinking a long time about leaving a relationship. You haven't been happy in this relationship before. Maybe you're dealing with a partner who has a drinking problem or an alcohol problem. Or there's someone who they're more concerned about just getting, you know, their needs or their wants fulfilled, and they're not someone who just really balances or works well in a relationship. This can also be someone who's very needy or very dependent, I feel. You know, the Wands, I feel like there's a lot of passion, perhaps angst or anxiety or fear. But there's also you standing your ground, holding your own, defending yourself in this situation. I feel like whatever this ending is, however, if you're coupled and you're ending a relationship, again, I don't feel like this is something that's going to be new. It's something that's been, you know, on your mind for a while, and you've been really struggling with it emotionally about whether or not you could do this or you can move forward and make this decision. But this month, I want to say by the end of the month, you're moving on. And it's actually, for you, a positive thing. And it's actually, you know, I don't really see you being too upset about it. I think for you, in a sense, it's a victory, because it's like you've been sad about it long enough. You've been struggling with this decision long enough. But once you actually release this person now, I feel like this is going to be a time when you're just like, it's almost like a weight being lifted off your shoulders, you know? I don't think it's going to be something that you're going to be too upset about. Now, for singles, I want to say, if you, I almost feel like there's a sense of pessimism here where it's like, I'm never going to find love. I'm never going to find the right person. There's a bunch of reasons or excuses why you think you wouldn't. You know, some people it may be, I'm too old to meet that person. For other people, it's I'm too ugly. For other people, it's, oh, I'm just not the kind of person anybody wants to be with. I just feel like there's a lot of pessimism here. And this month, you're going to get recognition romantically. And I know that sounds silly, but it's like you're just getting attention, you know? And I feel like this is really going to boost your self-esteem this month. I think that there's going to be a powerful conversation or interaction you have, maybe with a group of friends or people of the opposite sex. And I feel like this is going to be a situation where you feel more confident. You feel more self-esteem because your friends, your colleagues, your peers, but also those that you may be romantically interested in or that may be romantically interested in you are making you aware of, you know, what's beautiful about you, what they like about you, what they wish they had that was similar to you, you know? I just feel like there's a lot of recognition this month. So there's a transformation taking place within you where this confidence is building again. You're coming out of a space where you just feel emotionally drained or emotionally weak, feeling like, you know, because this Nine of Wands is looking up at this Queen of Cups. So this says to me, emotionally, we're dealing with something. Emotionally, we're licking our wounds pretty much, and we're trying to heal. But it's going to be friends, and it's going to be, you know, people of interest that really help you to see yourself for who you are, okay? With the Five of Cups over the Death card being this Scorpio card, I kind of feel like you've been not looking behind you to see that there's 2 cups still filled. You know, you've been focused on what hasn't worked for you, what has failed in the past. And this Death card is your card, Scorpio, but I'm also feeling strongly this is a card talking about we're changing things now. Friends and colleagues and peers are helping us change how we perceive ourselves. Get out of this subconscious way of thinking of yourself that's negative. Now I'm going to use my Gypsy Oracle cards here. We're just going to get some clarification on these. And I want to look at the Moon card first. So for those of you who are coupled and looking to possibly end a relationship, on the Moon card we have the Lover, Wedding, and Room. There's secrets about this relationship or this contract or this agreement that aren't being openly shared. And maybe it's the male, because I feel like we have a female, possible Scorpio, who's with a male, who's maybe not telling the whole truth or just not saying how she really feels about a situation or about leaving the situation. This is the month in which she will. And then for others of you, if you're the male dealing with a female, I kind of feel like this is you where there's been a secret held. You're learning about the secret this month. Maybe that's making it easier for you to let go of whatever this is, okay? Whatever relationship this is. For those of you who are single, on the Moon card, this is your secrets. This is what you keep inside. This is your unconscious or your subconscious. So I feel like this is saying, look, and this Room card talks about secrets and intimacy. So I feel like secretly you do want that right relationship. You do want that right partner. You do want that commitment. But, you know, you haven't felt like you've been able to obtain that or that you weren't worth that. There we go. On the Nine of Cups, we have Waiting, Merchant, and Cheerfulness. And what these 3 cards are saying on the Nine of Cups for me is we're overcoming a period where we've been waiting for change. Maybe it's waiting for change regarding a contract agreement. This can be, for those who are coupled, ending that agreement. For those of you who are single, it can be beginning an agreement. And there's happiness with this. There's joy with this. Like I said, I don't feel like if you're ending a relationship, I don't feel like there's a lot of suffering about it. I feel like the suffering has already happened. You've already suffered it because you knew this relationship was coming to an end. Let me look at the Death card here. You put a lot of thought into this, a lot of consideration. You got to think about what serves you best. And I feel like, again, this is a situation where you've gone back and forth or you've been fickle about it. But in the end, you have to make the decision, or you will be led to make the decision, because the Death card's a major arcana card. We can't control that. It just happens, you know? And I think emotionally you're at a place where you know it just can't, you can't grow from this. You can't move on from this. So you need to let it go. But for those of you who are single, on the Death card, these 3 cards are telling me that you have either been too provocative in the past, or you haven't really put yourself out there enough. That's going to change for you. That's going to change for you. And when you make that change, that's when the right kind of person can come in. Okay?